All right, Zero to Track Star. I hope you guys enjoyed that last episode. And we're just building on top of what we've been doing. As you can see here, I got my shoes off, just kind of warmed up, getting everything warm. Today, I thought we'll take a moment, and this is the most important video here. I'm going to explain all of the phases of the race, of a 100-meter race. But you can stretch it out for any other race. But right now, we're just talking about the 100. For me, what I normally do is I break it into about 4 sections. And those 4 sections of the race, those are positions that we need to train. Sorry, I'm getting attacked by something. Those are positions that I usually train. That's how I break it down in my head. So we can walk through it now. All right, so let's look at the first stage. Well, actually, let's walk through all the stages. So we got the start, right? We got the start when we're in the positioning. Then we got the drive phase where we're kind of like right after we jump out them blocks. That's that drive, we're always low, and we're in that position. Then we come in through that transition phase, right? That's another phase that I have to train. And then that transition from low body position into like the upright sprinting, you train that. And then you're in your upright phase, your top end phase, and you train that. So I'm going to break it down like a little bit more clear, but I just wanted to kind of walk through it. And then we have a finish. I don't really train to finish. Usually most of the time, you just pray, right? You just pray and just hold on for dear life. All right, let me explain this a little bit better. So let's pretend we're in some blocks right now, right? So kind of get into that position, whether you're left-footed or right-footed. We'll get into block training a little bit later in the series, but right now we're still in the off season. So you definitely should not be in spikes, you should not be in blocks, and you should not be on the track. I never hit the track, and like I said, this is how I've done it. This is how I have developed myself to get faster. So that's the way I'm showing you guys. This is the way I'm of course I'm making this journal for myself. So I'm right foot, whether you're right foot or left foot. If you imagine this position here that you're in, and then when you go to set, you come up there, right? If you look at this angle of your leg, we got to train this. This looks exactly like a quarter squat, right? So one of the things that my PT has me doing is, 1 foot forward, kind of take a step out to the side, 1 foot forward here. And we just do like a goblet squat, put a weight there and just kind of come down. Usually you could do it off of chair, have a chair that's sitting there, you just kind of sit and touch, but we'll just go quarter squat, right? Boom, boom, we're training that position. And then everything you do on one leg, you do on the other leg, because even though this is your start leg, it's going to naturally become bigger and stronger than your less dominant leg. So whenever you can, whatever you do on one leg on one end, do it on the other end, so that way you can keep yourself balanced. Because the most balanced athlete is going to be the fastest athlete. So same thing, take a step to the side, shoulder width apart, take a step back. Same thing, goblet squat. We're training that. Boom. See, right now we're just training this for strength, right? So I'm just pressing up. Eventually we're going to evolve a little bit later in the series, and then this is going to come through more to an explosive movement, more through a plyo, so we're going to explode up. But right now, we're just strengthening that position, right? So this is all our start. We're building that right now. Boom, boom, in the off season, right? So that's our start position. So now we've kind of identified our start, what our start looks like. So now we got to go into our drive phase. Once we come up, let's pretend, boom, that first step here, right? We got to stay low. We got to stay low here, and we land so much power here. So you can imagine like working on those quarter stops, working on those quads, working on those squats. You need to develop that. So we're going to break it all down in later videos, but I need to walk us through what we're thinking about and what we're needing to train in those positions. So here through our drive, we're pushing, right? We're still low. You see them low. It's kind of awkward doing it as a walk, because when you run, you have so much momentum and it keeps you low. And in about 8 steps, right? Boom, boom, right? We got the arms moving, boom. We got that good form on the ball of our feet. I'm having to use my whole foot a little balance, so don't judge me. about 8 steps. Then the biggest thing, we're coming slowly up. Boom, boom, slowly up, slowly up, slowly up. Now we're in that transition. All right, so now that transition, this is a whole nother position that we have to train. I have the perfect workout for that. We're gonna break this up into individual videos. So we're gonna have a off-season start video. We're gonna have a draw video, and then we're gonna have a transition video. There's workouts that I do specifically for it, but this video, I just want to get us the picture of what we're supposed to be doing. So transition, remember, we're coming up slow. So as you can imagine, coming up slow, being able to separate your torso, what your torso and your core is doing, right, is doing this and this while your legs are doing something different. So you can imagine your hip flexors need to be strong and your core needs to be strong because they need to be able to work together and independently at the same time. Boom, right? So we're slowly coming up, boom, and we're up in this position, and we just transition to the upright, boom. And now, coach calls us our acceleration, which I also agree. We're in acceleration because we're in that big old stride and we got these knees open. So let's pause there. All right, so now we're up in that excel, right? So this is where our stride is just huge, boom. We just came out of that drive, we just came out of that transition, boom. And we're just here, chest up, boom, chest up, boom. So as you can imagine, and I'll get into the workouts now, you see what I'm doing with my knees, how my knees are coming up straight up, right? For you to get the ability to do that, we got to train that. So as you can imagine, we have a wall drill that we do that you can do at home. And like I said, once we get to that series, that's going to be like the third video in the series. I'll teach you how we come here. Don't judge my balance, right? So we set that table and we go 1. Oh shit, I don't got no balance. Wait, I got this, guys. 2. I usually would hold on to a wall. 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So you do that 10 times and you go to the other leg and same thing. Hold on, let me see if I can do it on this leg. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you would hold the wall and you would do that and you would do 10 and you would do 3 sets of 10 each leg. And that's how we train this. That's how we get that knee to be able to come up as high as we needed to come up so we can get that, we could become big steppers. Boom. Good neutral hip, boom. Good neutral hip. And then we're in that excel. But now we get into another phase and it's like we're slowly going, our feet are going higher, but they're kind of coming lower and it's kind of quickening our feet. So we're going boom, 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 boom. So our end of our races looks like this, right? So that is your turnover. We have to train the turnover. That is one of the most important parts of our race, because if you don't get to that quick foot speed, or if you misutilize that quick foot speed, because sometimes some guys are considered bullet starters, which means they came out of the blocks, they set, go, and it went boom, and they just hurried up and went to the quick feet. But as you can see, I'm about 6'1", almost 6'2". I'm using my height, boom, and my power, boom, right? Boom, boom, and I'm marching. And then I get faster, 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 and I get into the turnover. So how do we train this turnover? A couple of different ways. Like I said, we're gonna have a specific video on that, but I just wanted to highlight, like, what are we thinking about when we're kind of training these different positions, when we're training these different phases. Each phase have a set of workouts that we need to train it. That's how I think about it in my head, and that works very well for me. All right, so we get a turnover. We're in full, like, Sonic the Hedgehog, right? We just chest up, right? We stepping, rah, 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 fast as we can. Now we got the finish. This can be trained, but I'll give this one to you because we really won't need to focus too much on the finish. But the biggest thing about the finish is having the endurance to finish. So there's a specific workout that I do, the coach had me do, and I call it a knee high drill, and it's tough. Like I said, I'm going to teach that in our look out for that video because I'm going to teach that. But basically, just to give you a preview, we're just a high knee drill. So, and it's a cycle, and he has me on a count. So he alternates. So it's 3 sets. So one of them's like a 30-second count, and then we have a turbo finish. And then each rep ends in a turbo finish, which means we have a certain cadence where, and he say turbo, and then we double top, right? So that helps reinforce that finish every time. And every rep, if you're doing a workout, so you can imagine if coach say, all right, you got 6 200s. Every time on your last rep, I don't care what you're doing, that last rep is always 90, 95%. Always 95%. And the reason for that is, it's training our bodies to always finish. And that's the best way to work on that finish. So I hope this helps. Let's just recap. We went over all the phases of the race, right? We have the start, we have the drive phase, we have the transition phase, and acceleration phase, and then we have the finish. That's 5 phases. Okay, so that's 5 phases. That's how I break it down in my head. In each of those phases, I have a set of workouts to help me train each one. So then once I get to the season and it's time for me to run, I just put them all together. And since I've trained them all exclusively individually, and you know, it really helps me because of course, you know, I'm blind, so a lot of these things I could do in the field of my own. So I hope this helps you guys. Catch you in the next episode. Peace.